time. And thank you in general for coming to our workshop again. It's been a pleasure yesterday to have all of us here talking about Grant Morrison like Woman and Men Possessed. It was a pleasure to have so much energy in the room and so much intellectual interaction on Grant's works. Today we are going to have a roundtable which we will try to flesh out some of the ideas that we brought to the discussion yesterday. And possibly we could actually discuss other ideas that will come out as we discuss, that will emerge as we will discuss. Well, let's say I would like to ask actually my organizers if they would like to propose some topics to have the ball rolling, because I do, but I don't want to have to wear the fictional suit of the authoritative chair that decides everything and Axel Bilorik.
We thought we would start with Roy's question. What's your favorite Grant Morrison book?
I think it was actually Kate's question originally in an earlier conversation. Well, I brought it up at dinner last night.
Yes. Yeah, you put it up at dinner last night.
What's your favorite Grant Morrison book?
Oh, it's a Desert Island book
Yeah,
question,
Desert Island
wasn't
book
it?
question, yeah.
Yes.
It was originally your idea, but I told them about it at dinner.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, what was I saying yesterday? Was it profound?
Of course.
There were drinks involved.
Dear, yeah. I think Animal Man, and I was talking about this with Dara a while back about how Animal Man's kind of his most complete work, but maybe other people disagree with that. But because I think although The Invisibles is kind of has these flashes of genius, as we were just talking about there now, there's problems with it. There's kind of inconsistency, or he's sort of writing it on the fly, whereas I think Animal Man has this kind of vision that's that completes it.
Clockwise.
Left the dealer. Okay.
It's
Say
like
something profound
1984. To the town, not to me.
You have the talking stick.
I say what I said last night. My favourite, for very, very sentimental reasons, is the Zoids strip from Spider-Man and Zoids. I got my first American comic in 1981. It was a Peter Parker Spider-Man comic. And then a couple of years later, I saw Spider-Man and Zoids for sale in the shop. And I said, well, I bought it for the Spider-Man, but Grant Morrison was writing the Zoids, my first exposure to Grant Morrison. I also bought quite a lot of Zoids, to be honest. And it just, that was my entry into comic books. That was from that point on then, I was kind of hooked. So that was my first exposure to comics proper, my beginning of my love of Spider-Man, and also Grant Morrison. So for sentimental reasons, that would be my choice. And it's not actually that bad either. It's not the kind of thing you would go back and reread, but there was some memorable moments in it actually. He steals quite a lot from Alien and Terminator. There's one of the crew members turns out to be actually an android or robot, and so just like Alien and stuff like that. But there's a very good issue where one of the Zoids, and they're mechanical fighting monsters, fights his way to Zoid heaven because he's tired of fighting and he just wants to enjoy peace and quiet.
What's Zoid heaven like?
That's the problem. It
Toys
turns out
R
to be
Us.
an eternal battle where you can't die or be killed.
Oh, like
Asgard.
Valhalla, where it's just endless battle.
Yeah,
and
so this
and
guy
peace
who
and-
wanted peace and quiet ends up being embroiled in an eternal battle. And it's very, very touching for a very brief story about a mechanical monster.
So what would Zoid hell be then, or is there not one?
Yeah, he should have gone to Zoid Hell. Yeah. That
The
would be
realm
great.
of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dishonored
So
dead.
it's
Eastbourne.
peace.
He's all
It's a bit bleak.
Banger.
Yeah.
I wonder what that says about Morrison's ideas of heaven and hell in general. Yeah. There you go.
I haven't read a lot of Grant Morrison. My complete Morrison library is right here on the table in front of you. I think, though, that I have a special place in my heart for All-Star Superman. Partly because I have had very little love for a lot of Superman stories in the past. And this was the first Superman story that I felt was something that I could connect with in a substantial way. And I also believe that Frank Quitely's art is phenomenal. Part of the reading experience for me is how good Quietly Sorry is.
I sort of want to repeat what you said, because we talked about this the other day. I had the exact same experience with Superman. It's not the character that I like a lot, but this is the one that I do like. But that wouldn't be my favorite. Actually, I would say Animal Man, for similar reasons that Kate brought up. Something, yeah. There's that kind of both naivety and seriousness in the series, and it's both within the genre and breaking the genres and all that. So I like it a lot. These weird characters and all that stuff that he's trying to do is really trying really hard, and you can tell that he's trying really hard. Maybe not always successfully, but there's something about that. There's certain kind of creative energy that you feel is at work. So I like that kind of.